Okay, we are live. If you start watching this video from the beginning and I have some technical problems, I apologize. I don't normally go live, so I'm testing a couple different things today. What I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to talk about the new announcements from Blackmagic Design, and I'm excited to talk about some of these cameras. So if you join in and you want to talk, that'd be great. Otherwise, thanks for watching this later. Just a little bit about me, if you don't know who I am. My name is Jacob Lauritsen. I am I'm a college professor, but I'm also an independent filmmaker. My first feature film is out on Tubi and some other streaming places right now. It's called Ace of Hearts. Narrative feature film, hour 53 minutes. It was a passion project. We started right before COVID, and now it's out in the world and you can check it out. Recently, I've been working on 2 more features. They're documentaries, and we're hoping next year we'll be starting our next feature film, which I've written the first draft, but I need to rewrite it. So anyway, let's talk about these cameras. Okay, so let's go through one of the things I love about Grant Petty and how he announces products is just how laid back he is. When they announced the first 12K URSA Mini, I still vividly remember that announcement that they showed did they start with the 4K shot and then they zoomed out to 6K and we're like, oh, that's cool. And then they zoomed out to 8K and we're like, what? Because there hadn't been an 8K sensor yet from them. And then they zoomed out to 12K. That's how they revealed that they jumped from making 6K sensors to a 12K sensor, and it was just today's announcement was really fun as well. I really loved it. So what did he do? He starts by going through like 45 minutes of all their different broadcast, gadgets and gizmos, which is great. I may never use any of those, but and then they did a short little bit about DaVinci Resolve 19. Then they kind of demoed how they're updating Resolve 19 so that it can work with broadcast, and they have a new little, let me show you. Okay, so I have a speed editor. So they have a new product similar to this that's for broadcast delay and stuff like that. And that was cool. I'm like, okay, but you promised cameras, and I'm excited for cameras, and I want to see the cameras. And then I had to go teach class. So I couldn't watch right away. And so I had to wait till I was available to come back later, and I did not want to check out the website. I knew everything would be there. I didn't want to check it out because I wanted it to be revealed the way that Grant Petty loves to reveal things. And so I had to go back, and I slowly bounced forward in the timeline because I'm like, okay, I'll go back and I'll watch the Resolve stuff later. I edit in Resolve. I love Resolve, but I want to get to the good stuff, right? And so I slowly bounced forward, and then suddenly there's a camera on the table. I'm like, So I backed up, and I could clear it was something URSA looking. And so I was able to watch it back from there, and Grant Petty did not disappoint. So he basically said, we wanted to make our dream camera. And so they announce, let me pull this up. Okay, they announced the Blackmagic URSA Cine 12K camera. For about $15,000. This shows the new EVF, new electronic viewfinder, and that was awesome. That was really cool. And then I watched what he's announcing, and there was a lot of great features. So they announced that they've been working on their 12K sensor, and now they've upgraded it so it's full frame. Boom! First big announcement. Now we've got a large format full frame 12K sensor that we've got that, and that's like, oh man, this is awesome. And then they start talking about now you can shoot 12K open gate. I am not aware of another camera that shoots 12K, much less 12K open gate. And so we're like, you get the full sensor readout, which is incredible. they announced that it's got 16 stops of dynamic range. It's like, this is the most dynamic range Blackmagic has ever released. And so they jumped above the like 14, 15 with the like 4.6K URSAs. And it's like, boom. Not only do we have this big, beautiful 12K sensor, but we've got a full frame, it's open gate, and now it's got much more competitive dynamic range. And so this is awesome. And they explain kind of the updates that they made. Let's see if we can make this a little bit bigger. And so they've still got the flip out screen, but now the flip out screen can flip around and you back up, and it's basically, now you have well, you've got a screen on both sides. You have your AC monitor, and so that you can see that, plus all the different I/O that you expect. You've got your SDI coming out the back and all things like that. But I love that on the other side now, you've got this beautiful screen right there, and they've updated Blackmagic OS so that, you know, with the right lenses, I'm sure it's not everything, you can pull up your focal distances and everything, and so you can literally digitally set your focal point markers, and so as you're trying to pull focus, you can watch and rack that. And we haven't seen that in a Blackmagic camera as far as I'm aware yet, and so that's super exciting that that's now available. And so this is great. And and then they demonstrate some of the video features, and I'd seen the other day that John Brawley, very successful cinematographer, he was telling people, just wait, like there's something big coming. And so this was really cool. And I was looking for pictures in the promo stuff of him, and you can see his face behind the camera at one point. So yeah, he was involved with testing out this camera. So it seems like he was the DP for this. He didn't operate everything, but even though this looks like the old URSAs, it's actually updated, and they have some different stuff going on, because they also gave us, I haven't bought anything yet. There's a new EVF, there's a new electronic view finder. And so I think it's about $1,800, but it works on this Dove rail tail system. It plugs in through USB Type-C. There's a screw thread so you can screw it in, so it's not just gonna pop out. And there's probably a better view of it. It's right there, right here, and it's adjustable. And so there's this beautiful new viewfinder that can handle everything that you see. And so we've got this new product coming out. I forget when it's coming out. I mean, you can pre-order it now. So that's exciting. That was cool. And I think that's the big announcement for the day. I had on my dry erase board, I put down what I wanted. I don't think I can fit that on the screen the way that I want, but this is what I had written down. New body style / URSA, because I was like, okay, I'm okay with an URSA. I don't have an URSA yet. I'm using my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 6K Pro as my webcam right now. I've got that. I've had a 4K Pocket camera in the past, and me and my business partner, we're looking at upgrading for our next feature film next summer. And so I'm looking really carefully. I wanted to start texting him about it. He's like, whoa, stop feeding me specs. Let me catch up on the news, and then we'll be able to talk. But anyway, so I've been excited for this. So I'd written down, okay, new body style, full frame, check. L mount, 15 stops of dynamic range, under 10K, $1,000. And we need to be able to shoot at least part of it in slow motion. So I put 240 FPS at 8K. Well, that was not possible in a Blackmagic camera before today. What did we get? We got full frame. We still have the URSA body. This particular camera is not L mount, but that's fine. I didn't need L mount. I don't even have any L mount lenses. All my stuff is Canon at this point. We got our 15, 16 stops of dynamic range. It's over $10,000, but it's pretty incredible. And we did get our slow motion. Let's see, where is it at? It's not showing it yet. In 8K, I think we get up to 224. And so that's pretty incredible that we can shoot slow motion. You know, past 120, we can shoot up to 224 in 8K. So that's incredible. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to talk to my business partner about all this once he's off work and he's available. Then I had my dream list. On the side, I had 18K sensor because that would be able to do IMAX. I put IBIS, which I wasn't expecting. I put continuous autofocus. Well, we didn't get IBIS. We didn't get continuous autofocus. But then Grant Petty, he's like, oh, and by the way, it's not going to come out till later this year, but let me show you. And he pulls out this ginormous sensor, and it's like, holy cow. And by this point in time, I was sitting waiting for food that me and my wife were picking up. I'm waiting for food to show up, and I laughed out loud when he says, all right, and it could do 17K. And I'm like, what? What is this? Because that's the dreamland. You know, everything that's being shown on IMAX at this point is either shot 70 millimeter film like your Christopher Nolan, or it's something lower resolution that's been upscaled. And from what I understand, 18K is true, 70 millimeter IMAX. This is 65 millimeter equivalent. The sensor is, I think, 65 millimeters across for the 17K camera. It's like, yeah, coming out later this year. We want to test it out. We want to work with some crews and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, you do. And so we have an actual digital IMAX camera coming out. Now, Hoyte van Hoytema, the guy who, he's the DP for Christopher Nolan. Oh, is this still running? Let me test this. My shot here looks like it froze. Let me check this real fast. Is this still running okay? No, you froze up for some reason. That's an unfortunate. On that front. Oh, man. I'm still frozen over there. Sorry about that, everybody. Yeesh. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Can't even... Yeah. Well, I'm sorry about that. What I wanted to do is... Okay, is that better? Can you hear me now? Hopefully. Okay, so sorry, for some reason my webcam is frozen. I might be able to. That's my new Blackmagic 6K running. Let me see if I can redo that. See if that helps it as I kind of reset that. No, that's still frozen. No. Oh well. We'll go this way. All right. So if that's what I wanted to do is show these specs in comparison to other products right now. So here's what we've got. If you want to look for a comparable camera to the URSA Cine 12K, you can see we've got the Sony Burano just came out. Sony Burano is an 8K camera. It's 16 stops of dynamic range and it's full frame. Obviously, the biggest difference between the Burano and this new Blackmagic camera is it's Sony and it comes with its amazing autofocus, but it is lower resolution and it's about $10,000 more. So for $10,000, you got autofocus. But, you know, if we use the $1,000 system that DJI just came out, you save yourself $9,000 and you're pretty much there if you're willing to use LiDAR. The next similar camera we've got is if we jump up over to Red, we've got the V-Raptor. That's 8K, 17 plus stops, but especially with their extended dynamic range and to the highlights and things like that. So this is really incredible camera. 8K at 120. Blackmagic just passed that. But this is the next closest camera. Again, $25,000. So that's, you know, $10,000 more than Blackmagic. But if we start to compare it to what the 17K version is that's coming out later this year, you're probably getting similar to the Arri Alexa LF. Now, I don't even know what this costs. You might just have to, well, if you're going through Blackmagic, through B&H, you're going to have to special order it, and you cannot return it. But spec-wise, it's a 4K sensor, 14 plus stops of dynamic range, but you're getting that big, beautiful sensor with all its great features, this LPL camera. Well, Blackmagic, when it comes out, you're going to be able to shoot open gate, 12K. Well, they haven't told us whether that 17K is open gate or not. I don't think. But if it's on par with the 12K sensor, then that's 16 stops of dynamic range. It actually blows past the Alexa LF in specs by far. And so we get the next most similar camera. We're looking at the Venice, which again is, you know, a much more expensive camera. 15 plus stops of dynamic range, can shoot ProRes RAW on their big 6K sensor. These specs are just not even on the same page with what Blackmagic has coming out in the future. And so that is incredible. The 12K camera is going to be competitive on paper. We know that they have fantastic color science, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in the future, especially with our IMAX level camera. But that wasn't the only thing that Blackmagic announced today. They also announced their box style camera, which people have been asking for years. And I love that they announced the box style camera after announcing the 17K sensor. They're like, okay, fine, we'll give you exactly what you want, but it's going to be nothing compared to what we've actually got in the works. So this is their box style camera. It's called PYXIS, PYXIS. It is the same sensor that we saw released with the 6K cinema camera, but it's in this different body style. And this is a different body than what we've seen before. It's got the monitor on the side. It doesn't have anything that pops out or anything like that, but you've got your physical button control right there. You can plug in the new viewfinder if you pay the extra for that. Actually, let me back up. Right here, you can plug in, it's mini XLR. So if you've got like a on-camera setup, you can plug that in right there. If we come back around to this side over here, you've got your battery, your headphone jacks and whatnot. This is taking our, is it CF Express? I forget what that is. You can still plug in an external SSD if you want. But the amazing part about all this is this camera, it's a $3,000 camera. So they're going to have 3 different models with the different lens mounts. At 3 different lens mounts, you can get Canon, you can get, I think, L mount, but also you can get the, what's the other one? PL? I think PL is the other one that you can cost just a little bit. It's like an extra $200. It's locking. It's a locking EF mount. But yeah, so there's now going to be a $3,000 box style camera with a 6K full frame sensor. This, I think, is going to be Blackmagic's new base model. I think after this, there's really no reason for them to continue to update the Pocket style cameras. They have the Blackmagic camera app that you can use if you want to check out something that's a little bit, more affordable. It's a free app. You can use it on your phone. But this, I think, is going to be big for film school students because you can run with it. You can throw it on a drone. You can throw it on a gimbal. It's going to have incredible fidelity. It's going to be a great base entry-level filmmaker camera that you can see in so many different things. Plus, it's got all the I/O that you didn't get with the cinema camera. So you've got CF Express card slots too. CF Express, you can plug it straight into Ethernet. You can stream from it. You've got 2 12G SDI ports, so you have all sorts of options there. You can plug it into a phone. You can, so you can broadcast. And then, of course, it's got OpenGate 6K. So this has just so much capability, and it's still in that affordable price range. You can buy the EVF, the new EVF to go with it, which I think is 18s, which puts it closer to a $5,000 camera at that point. And of course, you can rig out everything, and it's meant to be rigged out. But there it is. That is now the new competitor to a lot of cameras. You compare this to the FX6, which is a $6,000 camera. And obviously the FX6 has their fantastic dynamic range. It's going to have more dynamic range. But it also has autofocus, and it's almost twice the cost of the new PYXIS. So there's a lot of great options going out into the world. Sony makes great cameras. Red makes great cameras. Arri makes great cameras. But now for the small indie, Blackmagic has just leveled up their game a lot. And so this is really exciting. I'm very excited. That is still frozen. Sorry about that. All right. Well, what do you think? I'm excited for these new camera announcements. I'm going to go watch some more of what everyone else is saying. And, hopefully we get our hands on some of these in the future. Right now, if I get my way, and, that doesn't always happen, I'd love to pick up the 12K to be my A cam for future features, and the PYXIS to be a B cam for some mobile stuff. I think that'd be a fantastic setup. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. Thanks for watching, checking this out, and we'll see your comments in the comments underneath. Thanks, everybody. Bye.